witness, but I am not finished. So keep your mouth closed and let your eyes listen.
Well, we got a really special coaches spotlight here. Not one, but two of our favorite coaches on the circuit. We have Matt Dellabarba from the Kingston Thunder and the Ducks, and Dan Norton, who started the Ducks. So these guys are true embodiments of what club basketball is all about. Between the two of them, they don't have 21 teams. They coach 21 teams, which has to be some sort of record. I was giving Dan a hard time with the set. He coaches more games every weekend than I coach at a year in the high school level. So first off, you guys can kind of give your backgrounds, how you got into it, and then really what your philosophy is, because your philosophy is a lot more personal than probably a lot of other club coaches out there. We'll start off with Dan.
Yeah, so I've been coaching at the high school level for about 8+ years, and I helped out with the women's team at Anna Maria College when I was in college. So I've been around women's basketball for a while. So I started coaching the Ducks team when I was a sophomore in college. Built that up from one team to 20+ teams, and opportunity came up where Matt and I could work together, and we just felt we had very similar philosophies, so we wanted to join forces.
And Matt, how did you get started? I met you as one of the directors of the Kingston Sports Center way back in the day. We kind of developed our partnership, and what took you from that role to really growing what the Thunder is now into one of the biggest programs in all New England?
So, I was actually in accounting for a while, and an opportunity came up to come to the Kingston Sports Center. Part of the job requirements was to run the AAU program, and at the time we were pretty predominantly on the boys' side,
right.
Really heavy on the boys' side, and so I took to developing the girls' side of the program, and that kind of led to me to work with Dan a little bit more and build our relationship, and we partnered on a couple of tournaments together, and as both our programs grew, it just made sense to kind of combine forces and work together and establish a relationship along the South Shore.
So a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between the Thunder and the Ducks? I know they're both at Kingston a lot. They both have really good girls teams and some up and coming middle school boys teams. What's the difference? How do I find out who plays for Thunder, who plays for Ducks?
So the biggest difference is where the logistics, where they practice. The Ducks teams practice out of Quincy. Thunder teams practice out of Kingston. We do have a couple that cross over in practice, but generally speaking, that's where they go. So the Ducks teams pull more from Westwood and Metro West and Boston area, and the Kingston teams are more kids that are Hanover and South Shore based.
Excellent. And the cool thing last year, and I got it wrong as usual. Last year's Zero Gravity State Championships, head to head, Thunder versus Ducks. Coach Norton got the best, but don't worry, Matt made it all the way to the finals, come at the national finals, lost to a ridiculously talented Westchester Lady Bears team. But I know Coach has a few things up his sleeves this year. Speaking of travel, Dan, I know you got that shirt on, VCU Rams.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, the really neat thing about you guys, it's a family environment. You keep players. They play in your program from 4th grade all the way to when they're going seen by college coaches. Tell us about some of the cool things about traveling with your program and including that stuff.
Yeah, so we have a lot of kids that we have an over 90% return rate on our teams. We look to build our program from the ground up and keep our players and develop them, and we feel like it's really a family atmosphere that we're proud to be a part of. So we do some traveling with a lot of our teams, and we went last year. We traveled to 6 different states during the summer, and one of them was a great stop in the Southern Regional Championships for Zero Gravity, where 3 of our 4 teams won the championships down there, and one of them made the finals and lost a nail biter to a very good Crossover Hoops Virginia team, who I know you guys.
They do a great job, an up and coming program too.
And we actually played them in 3 of the 4 championship games. Right. So we had a lot of battles with them. So they're very classy, good program. So it was great to see some great competition down there and have the Ducks fly south for the spring, which going against the grain a little bit, but it was fun. We had one Thunder team that went for that trip too, and they actually won the championship too. So it was great.
Making me think of Mighty Ducks. Ducks fly together.
That's right.
And speaking of Matt, maybe not flying, but you guys can hit the road to one of our other than Kingston, other favorite facilities, the House of Sport. For the Adidas Junior Gauntlet Series Memorial Day weekend. I know you get your jacket, you get your Adidas hat, you're ready to go. Tell us what the girls are thinking about. Pretty big stage to play on as a young middle school girl.
Yeah, they're ecstatic. They're really looking forward to this. This is by far their most talked about trip they've had. They've been similar to Dan. Thunder tends to travel, nationally as well as regionally for our tournaments, and they've never been more excited about a tournament than they are going down to the House of Sport Memorial Day weekend, and representing their new Adidas uniforms as well.
Those sublimated, those shredders are pretty nice, and they've earned the right to be able to wear those in a big spot. And I know you waited long enough to get those things, so I can't wait to see them. And tell us more, if I'm a family looking to find the right club basketball program anywhere from Milton, Braintree, all the way to Kingston to Cape, where do I go? What do I find out? What should I expect?
So the best way to find information about our program is go to our website, kingstonsportscenter.com. There's information about both programs, the Thunder and the Ducks. We try to spell out pretty clearly, that the Ducks are more located out of, Quincy, and the Thunder practice out of Kingston. Like we talked about earlier, both programs travel, nationally as well as regionally. We have probably 20-plus teams playing the Zero Gravity States next weekend, 10-plus teams scheduled to play in the Zero Gravity Nationals. So we mentioned those things as well, that it's competitive atmosphere. But Steve, what we try to teach is a teach and development philosophy. As you mentioned earlier, we try to keep the kids in our program and develop them as they go, on, and you'd really see the results as they hit, 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Well, I know it's going to be exciting to see this coming weekend at States. Who's going to get it done? I know Coach Norton has 2 last year. Some people say it's our year. I don't know. I'm going to take that trophy from you.
Yeah.
And Matt has a little revenge up his sleeve too. So can't wait to see you all around the greater Boston area, including Kingston next weekend. I still want to see that big state title banner go up. So let's see if we get it. See if we can get it done next weekend. And really appreciate you guys coming in. These guys work harder than anyone. They're devoted to their families, to their kids. And to be in the gym that long every single weekend, it shows you it's the personal touch, the difference. And I love my stops into Kingston every few months. And next weekend is going to be a fun weekend out there. So thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.